Hey y'all, welcome back in. How are you guys doing today? I'm so happy to see you. So today we are going to be talking about the Austin, Texas serial killer. I know a lot of people have been talking about it, a lot of people have been hearing about it, and a lot of people have a lot of speculations on it. But today we're going to be talking about it, and I have some crazy theories for you guys, so you're not going to want to miss it. So we're going to start by looking at a little bit of the history of the Lady Bird Lake or Town Lake, and we're going to learn about Lady Bird Lake. Now, before we do that, I just want to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that thumbs up down below as well. And I hope you guys are part of the Trippy Tribe. I have linked everything down below to join all my social media platforms, including my Patreon, where I will be doing personal chats and also drops happening over there. So definitely go check it out, and I hope you guys enjoy. Start here for this, and I wanted to mainly start here because I want to show you guys a little bit of not only the area, but I also want you guys to see the history behind it, because there's a lot of things that have gone on at Lady Bird Lake. This is the Wikipedia page for Town Lake, also called Lady Bird Lake. So here I'm going to read this for you. So Town Lake, referred to as Town Lake, so a lot of the locals still refer to this as Town Lake. It's a river-like reservoir on the Colorado River in Austin, Texas, in the United States. The city of Austin created the reservoir in 1960 as a cooling pond for a new city power plant. The lake, which has a surface area of 416 acres, is now used primarily for recreational and flood control. The reservoir is named in the honor of former First Lady of the United States, Lady Bird Johnson. So they renamed it for her. Lady Bird Lake is the easternmost lake of a chain of reservoirs on the river, which is completely located in Texas and should not be confused with the larger Colorado River located in southwestern United States. A bit of the history. The city of Austin construction Longhorn Dam in 1960 to form Town Lake. The city needed the reservoir to serve as a cooling pond for the Holly Street power plant, which operated from 1960 to 2007. Before 1970, the shoreline of Town Lake was mostly a mixture of weeds, unkept bushes, and trash. Local television station KTVC referred to the lake as an eyesore. Some concerned Austinians led small projects to clean up the lake. Roberta Crenshaw, chair of the Austin Board of Parks and Recreation, purchased nearly 400 trees and shrubs in an effort to spearhead parkland development around the lake. So they did all of this. They made it like a destination spot for the town. The city also built a system of hike and bike trails along the shoreline of the lake. So this is kind of like I guess you would say a monument or a landmark for Austin. A lot of people go to visit it. They come from everywhere to do that. So on July 26th of 2007, the Austin City Council passed a resolution authorizing the renaming of the reservoir from Town Lake to Lady Bird Lake in honor of Lady Bird Johnson. In 2009, nonprofit organization Kept Austin Beautiful launched Clean Lady Bird Lake. The program mobilized thousands of community volunteers annually to conduct large-scale cleanups along the lake every other month and targeted cleanups throughout the year. In 2014, a 1-mile stretch of the Ann and Roy Butler Hike and Bike Trail, named after a former Austin mayor and his wife, was paved to create a boardwalk. On Monday, February 5th, around 1:30 in the afternoon, members of the Austin Police Department responded to the 300 block of West Cesar Chavez Street, where first responders recovered a dead body that had been discovered by civilians earlier, following a series of 4 other bodies recovered from the lake in 2023. So this is what happened in 2023, and we're going to go into a little bit more of the backstory. There was a lot of, I recently listened to a podcast. I'm going to have to find the podcast name. I'll put it up. But they were saying how a lot of things were dumped in this lake, and that's why it's so unsafe as well, and people that are swimming in it. But as you guys will see here shortly, this lake is for recreational uses a lot. So for it to be so dangerous to swim in that people say, there's a lot of recreation going around this lake. Not to say there's a lot of lakes. It's kind of a reservoir. It's not even a lake. There's also debates on that it's not even a lake. It's called a lake, but it's not. It's a reservoir. So, yeah. Anywho, so Lady Bird Lake is a major recreation area for the city of Austin. The lake's banks are bounded by the Anne and Roy Butler hike and bike trail, and the businesses offer recreational watercraft services along the lakefront portion of the trail. Austin's largest downtown park, Ziegler Park, is adjacent to the lake, and the Barton Springs, a major attraction for swimmers, flows into the lake. Now, the podcast I listened to was from people that were native to Austin, so Austonians with all intents and purposes, and they said that this Barton Springs Lake also is not a very good lake to swim in. If you guys have ever been to a lake in your hometown, you guys know all of the secrets with it, but this seems to be more of a destination spot and people are more open to it, I guess you can say. So the city of Austin prohibits the operation of most motorized watercrafts on Lady Bird Lake. As a result, the lake serves as a popular recreational area for paddleboards, kayaks, canoes, dragon boats, and rowing shells. Now, also to put this in there as well, a lot of people do come down to paddleboard, is what I've heard. There's a lot of recreation around this lake, so it's not a lake where like people don't ever go to or people aren't there. It's a very, very, I guess you can say, active lake. A lot of people are there, especially during the summer. Swimming in Lady Bird Lake is illegal, not due to poor water quality. This is what this says. From the runoff from area streets. Not due to the poor water quality from the runoff from area street, which is a false rumor, but rather due to several drownings as well as debris in the water from bridges and dams destroyed by floods in years past. The city of Austin enacted the ban in 1964, and the fine can be up to $500. So even though you can ride your paddleboard, kayak, canoe, rowing shells, dragon boats, don't even know what a dragon boat is, you cannot swim. Caveat there. A lot of people I heard also go fishing here, but yeah. So for the first time in August of 2019, so they say that this was the first time they seen this. However, it could have been living in the ocean far more longer. I'm sorry. Did I just say ocean? It could have been living in Lady Bird Lake for much longer. So for the first time in August 2019, a toxic blue-green algae was found in the lake and reportedly killed at least 5 dogs who were exposed. We don't like that at all. So supposedly also this blue-green algae, what I have heard from Austonians is that this blue-green algae is, they pretty much know it's toxic, and this is also part of the reason why swimming in Lady Bird Lake is illegal. Now, if I wouldn't have looked this up, I wouldn't have known any of this, and this just makes it, this whole case that I'm about to tell you, even more eerier, considering the fact that people know from 1962 this has been a law that you cannot swim in Lady Bird Lake. So it's wild. Yeah, so it's just very weird that this is a lake and you can't swim in it, but whatever. I heard people do it anyways, you know. What are you gonna do? We're not gonna see it. So fishing, a lot of people do fish there. It's stocked with several species of fish intended to improve the utility of the reservoir for recreational fishing. The prominent fish species in Lady Bird Lake are longmouth bass, catfish, carp, and sunfish. Fishing is regulated, requiring a fishing license, and daily bag and length limits apply for most species. Now, again, you can't swim in this lake, but you can catch fish and eat them. That's fishy, for sure. Definitely. The first water treatment facility, this just tells you about the water treatment facility. Let's just go back and let's look at Lady Bird, as far as like images and things like that. Okay, so it's a beautiful lake. I mean, it's a beautiful lake. You see, this is the City of Austin website, and it gives you, you know, this is Creekside austintexas.gov. Okay, so Lady Bird Lake Fact or Fiction is from 2018. So here you can see the lake, Town Lake or Lady Bird Lake. The Colorado River, whatever you call it. Austin couldn't be the same without the scenic body of waters separating North and South Austin. So we have North and South Austin. Now, if you go back here, you get a kind of like a map. I was really interested in this map because the way it shows everything as far as, so this is First Street right here. This is where all of the bars that everybody is talking about pretty much. Like this is where all of the bars are at that people are like, oh, people are getting drugged and they're drunk or whatever. That's where this is all at. And so you see this kind of map of, you know, we have a couple of coves, you have a couple, you know, stuff like that. So I wanted to show you guys that because it's really interesting. Here's some more pictures of the lake. There's some people kayaking here on the lake. You can see in this one especially that there's a lot of foliage around the lake. There's a lot of, it's not a lake that is open. It's not a body of water that is just, you know, what comes to mind is like Pittsburgh, how, or even Chicago, how you have the Chicago River and just things are around it. No, this is not what it is. This is more like a wood like area. There's trees around it. Here's another picture here. And a lot of people do like paddleboarding and stuff like that. This one is mitigate impacts of watercraft overcrowding. So yeah, there's watercraft overcrowding there. See, all of this is kind of, this is what it looks like. And then also you kind of get an idea. You see some of the landmarks around. You see, so this is Rainy Street. So actually it's Rainy Street, not that First Street. That is actually the street. Anyways, here's Rainy Street. Here's where all the bars are at. And here is people swimming. Oh, this is Barton Spring. So this is a municipal pool. Now, a lot of people, like I said, I listened to a podcast from people that are from Austin, and they say that Barton Springs, which isn't too far, and it's actually feeded by the lake, is just as dangerous, but they allow people to swim there. So here's another photo. Here's a bigger photo of, you know, where you have kind of in the middle of everything. There's the park they were saying that's right across the street. Here's one of the roads. Here's a bigger view of it. You can see there's kind of like a highway on here. And here's more. So, you know, for all intensive purposes, this place is, it's beautiful. I mean, I would love to live here. You see here too, you get do like tours and stuff like that, which is really cool. And if you go, let me see if I can, oh, here's a map. Okay, so we're going to go into the maps here and we're going to look at Lady Bird Lake. So this is Lady Bird Lake over here. On the map, this is the Lady Bird Lake. So this is this portion over here by East Cesar Chavez is the Colorado Lake. And then, you know, it just feeds into here. And this is where it kind of plateaus at over here. Now, let's see if we can find that Rainy Street and see if we can see where exactly that road is. We have downtown Austin here. Downtown Austin, yep. And here's a Rainy Street. So here, if you guys go, they say that this portion of the river right here, this one right before you get to the overpass, this portion of the river is a little bit more deeper and a little more dangerous. This is the Lady Bird hiking trail that they were talking about, that they were named after a couple of people that you know were there or whatever. So, and then we come over here and we have Rainy Street. So here is Rainy Street. Rainy Street is the road where all of the bars are at and things like that. And then you can come up here and you have a warehouse district, which is most likely the same thing. And you have downtown Austin, which is most likely going to have a lot of other things. And you just see like different things, like here's the Cedarcade Austin, serves drinks, stuff like that. So you have a lot of this. You have a community over here. Look, you have, it's literally a hop, skip, and a jump from the lake on both sides. So you have all of this and all of this, and then you have a highway a highway overpass, and then you have all of this and all of this, and you have another highway. So this does from other highways. This is a huge lake. Now this is the Baton Creek, or Barton Creek. I'm sorry, Barton Creek is the one that they were saying how they do have a swimming spot in this lake. Again, it feeds off of the Ladybird Lake, so again, most likely dangerous to swim there as well. Now, since you guys have a overview of, this area, let's get into some of the crazy things that have happened here. Now, here's just kind of a brief overview of what has gone on. Now, there's a lot of accidental drownings, and there's also a lot of causes of death that are due to either alcohol, drugs, or a combination of both. Now, as of August 14th, 2024, at least 12 bodies have been found in or near Ladybird Lake in Austin, Texas, in the last 22 months. In 2024, 4 bodies were recovered. In 2023, 5 bodies were recovered. And so far, as of August 14th, we have 4 bodies that actually, I believe that's correct. It's 4 bodies. So I was going to say there's one more, but there hasn't been. So most of the deaths have been ruled as accidental drowning or no foul play, which a lot of the families disagree with only 1 homicide. Some of the reported deaths include Jose Moreno, shot while driving, and his truck ended up in the lake. This was only confirmed homicide, and the suspect has been charged. So that one, he was charged. The next one we have is Jason John and Jonathan Honey, 2 people who drowned accidentally. It's very hard for 2 people to drown at the same time. Just saying. Clifton Axton, the cause of death could not be determined. There was no determination of cause of death. Some residents and family members of the deceased have called for an investigation into the deaths. Others have expressed concern about the safety of the lake, especially for those who use the trail to run or participate in water sports. The city has promised to reopen the investigation and is reportedly adding lights and cameras to the trail to make it safer. Do you think that'll change things? I don't know. Now, I have my own research that we're going to go into soon, but I just thought I would show you guys a little bit of the stuff that is coming or the stuff that is available to you online in regards to this case, just because it's super interesting and I feel like you guys would be interested in it. You guys can always look this up. I'm going to drop some of the things I've used in here so you guys can see them. This was the most recent one. The most recent body found was April. So let's see. So dead body found in Ladybird Lake on Saturday. Austin Travis County EMS and Austin Police found a body in Ladybird Lake near Longhorn Dam on Saturday morning. During a media briefing, Officer Austin Zerling said APD along with ATCEMS responded to a Czech welfare call at 7:37 a.m. at Craig Field. And there's an address. He said a fisherman had called after seeing a body floating in Ladybird Lake. Zerling said the victim was pronounced dead at 7:52 a.m. So just about 20 minutes later. Although the APD's homicide detectives have opened an investigation, the death is not being investigated as a homicide. And we have a from Austin Police Department. Here's the information for the briefing and what was going on. APD reports it appears to be an isolated incident and poses no threat to the general public. Now, going through all of the cases on this, like all the people that have either died from drowning or whatever they died from, this is the APD. They say this like every single time somebody comes up dead. Appears to be isolated event. No threat to the general public. However, people just keep dying. And the identity wasn't released. I believe that they did release the identity. And again, this goes into, I wanted to show you guys this because it says how many bodies have been found in Ladybird Lake. At least 12 bodies have been recovered from the Central Texas Lake and the surrounding area in the last 22 months. The 11th body was found just 4 days before Saturday's event. So there was 2 bodies found recently in April. And this is a list of reported people that have been pulled from the lake. We have Ricky Parks in July of 22, Christopher Gutierrez in December of 22, Jose Morano, December of 22, Kyle Thornton, December of 22, Jason John, February of 23, Clifton Axtell, March 23, Christopher Hayes Clark, April 23, Jonathan Honey, April 23, Moga Dogle, June 23rd, and there's 3 unidentified people from February and then the 2 from March. Austin Travis County EMS discovered the body on April 9th while conducting a welfare check near the Lamar Boulevard bridge. The deceased person was not in the lake itself, and the cause of death was suspected to involve cardiac arrest. So this was the one on April 9th that they had found. Now this one, I was trying to figure out what date this one was, but this was published on April 16th. So one of my theories that I have will be coming at you later, but if I got this right, it was 16th. It would have been the 13th or 14th. And one of my theories that I have, the person in this theory, and it's a very loose theory and it's not at all concrete, so don't take me seriously. But the person that's in this theory was in this area at this time. So it's very suspicious, and I might go a little bit deeper into that before I actually report it. We'll see. But these are weird. This is just what it is. A lot of the chatter is that people are drinking in the Rainy Street area, and then somebody is drugging them. It's happened with females before, as far as there was actually a females that were doing this to males in the area as well. So that's really weird. If you guys want to hear about that, let me know. But it's not at all connected. They've looked into it, but again, we don't absolutely know. So anyways, all right, so I'm going to go into a little bit of the research that I have done into this case, because there is also a survivor that survived an ordeal. He doesn't remember much, but we're going to get a little bit into that, okay, guys? So basically, this Austin serial killer, they're actually thinking that it could be part of the smiley face killers. If you guys have not done any kind of research on smiley face killers, basically, they are a group of people or a militia that pretty much says that, people should take out homos. I don't agree with it. Just giving you information. And a lot of the people that were killed in the Ladybird Lake or have been discovered are males that are gay. So that brings a whole nother element into all this, to a hate crime. Now, the smiley face killer, I don't know. I don't think that the smiley face killings could be connected to this. The only reason I think that is because these killings are a little bit different than other ones you've seen around the country. Bird Lake killings, there has been well over 20 deaths at this lake. So I'm not going to go over everyone because, like I said, a lot of them are drowning deaths. A lot of them are cardiac arrest. You can't say that every single one it was a serial killer, but the one specifically since I want to say 2022, without a doubt are. Now, there is a couple women scattered throughout these as well, so that's something to take into consideration. Most victims were killed by drowning, and that's why I say that they say that there could be like a serial drugger around. That's basically slipping something in their drink, and they kind of keep an eye on them, maybe a bartender, stuff like that. Now, there was an incident that was posted on a Reddit thread for bartenders on March 20th of 2024, so of this year. A customer had admitted and told a bartender that he was killing homos. And this was posted in a subreddit that's now been deleted. But basically, this guy admitted to it, and they tried to go over CC camera footage. I believe this woman also has a TikTok. I don't know her name, but you could probably look it up. Yeah, this guy basically told her that he was killing homos, and that's who it was. But when they went over, they couldn't really see him in the CCTV footage. And when she went to go tell one of her coworkers, she went back to his table and he was gone. So I feel like he needed to tell somebody. It's wild. There's a lot of deaths. I just want to touch on a few of them. There is also a survivor, like I said. The survivor is Jeff Jones. He was in town for a bachelor party. He fell 24 feet from a bridge. He was found under a bridge in the creek by Lady Bird Lake. He was in a medically induced coma for a week after he was found. He thinks he was roofied or drugged. Police believe that this fall was not suspicious. Again, not suspicious. But Jeff Jones, he just does not feel right about it. He doesn't remember anything from that night other than he did not feel right. So there's that. Again, loved ones do not believe any of these were accidents or accidental or anything in any way. They do believe they were victims. There's just a lot of men that are reported anywhere there, and it's really weird because the age fluctuates so much. We go from, let's see. So we had Raid Hamad in 2008. This was not suspicious. However, he was duct taped. They declared that it was a suicide. He was depressed at the time, but he was duct taped. His hands and feet were duct taped, but not a homicide. Not at all. Nazima, this was a woman found. Her body was badly decayed. This was a female body found. She was 26 years old. We also have Cole Christensen on October of 2012. He was on vacation and he was found in a cove. And it was like a tragic death. They said that this one was something that was very suspicious. We have Alino Valle in 2014. He was depressed, and they found that his wounds were self-inflicted. We have 28-year-old Carl Fell. He fell from a paddleboard and had an accident. He was deceased. And in 2015, you have a 22-year-old Julio Santos, a trans man or woman, not too sure. This was an accidental. And then we have 84 Ramona, she was 84. She slipped into the lake. And then we have Zachary. He was 23. Nothing was known of his death. Plus, there was 2 more accidental drownings in 2015. Then we go into 2016, where we have a 50-year-old male with self-inflicted wounds, a 6-year-old female that was non-suspicious, and a 40-year-old male with no information. In 2017, we have 2 more deaths, and then in 2018, there is 7 deaths. All males, all non-suspicious, all suspected of just being alcohol. Then in 2019, we have 2 more non-suspicious deaths. In 2022, we have in 2021, we have one non-suspicious death. 22 is when I had explained to you guys that the deaths that have occurred between 2022 and now. So there's 12 bodies that have been found within the last 22 months between 2022 and today, 2024. So we have all of these bodies that have been found within the 22 months. Now, the 4 bodies in 2024 that were recovered, let's look at those. So the ones in 2022, most of them were rolled in accidental drowning. The men who drowned had alcohol in their systems. The bodies found in Lady Bird Lake has sparked fears that a serial killer is loose targeting males. Now, I mean, this does say serial killer. I mean, there's 12 bodies. Now, let me tell you guys, the ones I listed, this was, let's see, this started in 2014. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we have 22 over a 6-year period. We have 22. over a 22-month period, we have 12. Does that not tell you that whatever is causing this has ramped up? It's very wild. It's very wild that the authorities are not seeing connections. And I understand, like, they're the authorities. They probably know a lot more facts than we do out here. However, there is a petition going around that people want people to sign, especially the families, because they really believe, a lot of them either believe that it wasn't accidental. A lot of them believe that they didn't look into it enough. So the families are speaking out for these. But as of today, as of right now, there has been 22 bodies over a 12 bodies over a 22-month period found at Lady Bird Lake, and they believe it's a serial killer. Now, are you guys ready for my crazy theory that I have? Because buckle up, okay?
Hey y'all, were you expecting something surprising? Yeah, I bet you were. Well, I'm sorry, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually post this on my Patreon. So if you go and check out my Patreon, I'm going to link it down below for y'all. And I will post my hater theory and the connection I have to the Austin serial killer and Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Ken Euchre. You guys aren't going to want to miss it, so go check it out. Again, all of this is alleged, but thank you guys so much for taking the time out to watch my video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.